In early February, the Uganda Revenue Authority URA, in its half-year performance, indicated that they had collected 9 trillion shillings against a target of 9.7 trillion shillings within the first half of this financial year,
which have performed lower than expected.
Weeks after the March 31st lockdown that subsequently brought Uganda's socio-economic and related life to a complete standstill, Finance Minister Matia Kasaija told Parliament in a discussion around the new budget that the economy was in near recession.
The situation as it stands now, which I will bring a statement, which I still want to get through cabinet to show you where our economy stands now. Things are not as rosy as they may appear.
On the 6th of May, the International Monetary Fund IMF announced a $491.5 million package for Uganda.
So about 70% of these resources are going to go to support the balance of payments in Bank of Uganda, and the rest, which is about $150 million, would go to the budget to support government efforts to respond to the pandemic.
This facility now, among others, will however require broader economic stimulus aggregation and implementation if the economy is to rebound and generate incomes among the population.
I think this is the time to think agriculture not a business as usual, but agriculture as the only miracle for us that can help us get out of this crisis. We need to ensure that, for example, that we invest in value chain. Is there somebody who can turn our maize into flour? Is there somebody who can turn our cassava into flour? And that's where the money should be going, to ensure that the cassava can produce so many other products. That's how we are going to stimulate growth.
As part of the further interventions, the nearly 1.8 trillion shillings realized from the IMF under the Rapid Credit Facility is now set to benefit strategic investments within the economy through the Uganda Development Bank.
But most importantly, Ugandan businesses are going to benefit from this. And for that, this initiative from government, we really applaud it. Most of the funding is going to go to primary agriculture, agro-industry, and manufacturing. So the people of Uganda are going to see this money firsthand in the sectors that are really key for the people and key for the economy.
In his State of the Nation address last Thursday, President Yoweri Museveni announced a partial stimulus package aimed at lifting the economy from the current depressed state. Among others, it included capitalization of Uganda Development Corporation with 100 billion shillings to enable government invest in strategic areas, boosting funding to the Uganda Industrial Research Institute to continue with innovation research and incubation of business startups, secure funding for the development of the Kampala Industrial Business Park at Namanve, and for power transmission and substations across rural parks. Provide an additional Uganda shillings 300 billion to boost agricultural production and productivity.
The target crops are coffee, cotton, tea, palm oil, and other oil seeds, cassava, maize, cocoa, and dairy, beef, and fish production. In the budget, the minister will give more details of these efforts.
Others within the grain business argue that Uganda, being an agricultural economy, implies that the proposed interventions by government to boost agriculture and production must be immediately released.
It means that we must start preparing what the farmers don't have because of the shortfall of COVID, proper seeds, proper chemicals. We must also give them fertilizers on one hand, and then we want to make sure that the rains are guaranteed. Otherwise, they will also plant in vain.
But a cross-section of the private sector on their part are still calling on government to come up with a pragmatic and sustainable economic intervention model in light of the ripple effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
It should be a special economic injury fund where even businesses in the service sector, where businesses in the trading sector can access money. We may not like them. We may say they are not part of the real economy and so on, but they are making a contribution to gross domestic product. They're employing our people. They are paying taxes. We must find a way of saving them. And this is our argument.
Rainher Ojon, NTV.